Hi, everyone, and welcome to our next episode of Couch Potato Queen Survivor Africa Recap. Woo woo! All right, guys, today we're going to be going over episodes 7 and 9, two of my favorite episodes of this season. Fortunately, without Lindsay, because I am still sad that Lindsay was voted off, but that's okay. But I have an amazing guest with me today who's already been on our show. Y'all know I love her. She is the queen of reality realness. We have Chantel Francis, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back, Chantel. How are you? How is everything going?
Everything okay. I'm starting to get into the groove of 2021. Like the first couple weeks, I was actually just really confused because usually, you go back to school or back to work, or there's something that happens and nothing happened, and I just started missing appointments and didn't take the garbage out on the wrong right day, and I'm like, so I was really discombobulated after the holidays, getting back into a routine when I don't have a routine and I don't do anything. So I'm better now, and my birthday is on Sunday, so I'm going to plan like a Zoom event.
Yes, you have to invite me to that. I want to come to your birthday. Happy early birthday from the Couch Potato Queens.
Thank you.
Love. What are you, 24?
Exactly.
Obviously. Yeah. I think you're 24. So
I've been 24 before.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, me too. A few times. It's good. All right. So with our episodes today, we have a lot of drama in these two episodes. This is really where Survivor Africa really reaches its peak, is really these two episodes where it's like heavy on it. So I'm really excited to go over these with you today. So let's start off right now, shall we?
Of course, absolutely. Starting being sad that Lindsay was gone.
I know, and you missed her. We had her on our show.
I know. I realized that, after that, I was like, wait. I mean, I couldn't make it anyways, but I was like, ooh, that'd be a good one. Just because I was like, what? I was actually thinking, what happened to her? What has she been doing since? Because watching all these episodes, it's like it's going into a time capsule or something, and you're forgetting that 20 years has gone by. So it's like I was thinking about what she was up to. So I would have loved to have met her yesterday. Or
she looks exactly the same as she did 20 years ago. Exactly the same. And she said she was 46. She literally looks like she drank the potion from Death Becomes Her. I'm like, girl, what are you doing? What's your secret? Like, she looks amazing. She was so much fun. It was a blast. But yeah, everyone who's watching, make sure to check out the episode. At this time when we're filming, it will be on our YouTube page. Yay. Had to plug. I had to. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We get back to the Samburu tribe, fresh out of voting out Lindsay, and Catty Brandon, that's what I call him because he is so catty, is out of nowhere, is glad Lindsay is gone. Whatever happened to leaving with dignity? He tells his tribe. Brandon being catty as hell against Lindsay and Silas. So Brandon is just, I just don't get it. Like, Lindsay basically sacrificed her game for him. And he was just saying, I am so happy Lindsay is gone. Let me say it again. I am happy Lindsay is gone. I'm not a fan of Brandon. What are your thoughts on him?
I didn't realize I wasn't a fan of him. I was watching it and I'm just trying to remember what I was feeling in these times. I remember feeling, because I was a little bit younger, but around the age of them, and I was like, I probably would have sided with that group of people. Mm-hmm. And now I probably wouldn't. But what's funny is I didn't notice that Brandon was so catty until this episode. I was like, oh, actually, I don't think I like him. And I think things switched for me as well back in the day, because I'm a person that loyalty. And I've learned, because I've played a bunch of these online reality games now, that I really value loyalty. And so the fact that how he kind of changed his tune about her, it rubbed me the wrong way.
I definitely agree with you on that. And throughout these two episodes, you have Brandon take a tumble with his moves, these two. So this is just the start of foreshadowing on what's to come with Brandon. He's even saying he'd flip on Kim Powers, who's his number one. Boy is losing the marbles out there in Africa. But what Lindsay said during our episode is they literally were so bored out there. They could not leave those areas unless to get water or to go somewhere. So they were stuck in these like little like hut areas, like with the thorns all day doing nothing. They literally were losing their minds out there. So it's some tea on what was going on.
When I was originally watching it, I was like, oh, the terrain's not great. It's just too dusty. And I was like, I felt bad for that, that season, just for the like obviously beautiful, really cool, being so close to all this wildlife, absolutely. But I feel like they need like the plushness of some of these rainforest type countries. I know like when it rains and stuff like that, it gets cold out there, but I just felt it was just too dry, and it was just too giant frying pan, and I felt that it was one of the least favorable outdoor circumstances for these contestants.
I agree with you. At first, it was really cool. Like, wow, they're in Africa. Like, that's awesome. But there's like no bodies of water. Like, they're dying of thirst. There's no water out there. There's a reason why they haven't gone back to like a non-beach area. They kind of did it for Australia, and then they did it with Africa, and they haven't done it again since then.
No, it's not good.
I mean, they did do Gabon, and Gabon was really cool, but like that was like a different part of Africa, and it had like waters on the ocean. So yeah. All right. So back to the Brand tribe now. Clarence taking a dump in front of elephants. That's pretty cool. And you have like Ethan and Frank watching him take a dump in front of the elephants. Like, is that like a sight to see?
Do his business.
I mean, Clarence is a very good looking man. Like, Clarence is like one of the hottest guys this season. Like, let's get real. There's three. There's Clarence, there was Silas, apart from the cockiness, and Ethan. Like, there's three. So, hey.
Did you do any research as to what Clarence has been doing after the fact? Because
I haven't.
Either, right?
Yeah, I haven't heard from Clarence. I think he may have done like an interview. He may have done the one with T-Bird. I feel like he may have. I feel like he did. And he did. And he's just living. I don't know if he's still in Detroit. He's from my hometown, so he's from here.
Oh my God, go out for coffee with him.
I should hit him up and like talk about it. Like, and well, one thing we were talking about, speaking of like Clarence, my friend Sean, who is Black, he was on for the Australian Outback finale, is we talked about the portrayal of Black men in Survivor for the early seasons and how unfair it was.
Yeah.
So the first 3 seasons, up until Marquesas, which is next season, which I'm so excited for, Marquesas. But the first 3 seasons, the Black man is labeled really like unfair. Like Gervais labeled as lazy. Nick labeled as lazy when he's like an Ivy League graduate. Like, that's really smart. Clarence labeled as taking all the food and being lazy when he's this like strong beast. And they didn't go to how funny he was and like talking about these things. So what was really cool, I think, about Marquesas, which I'm so excited to talk about, is like Sean and V kind of changed things. And Sean looks at it and he's like, I am not going to have this edit. I am going to slay this game. And like, Sean and V getting to the end of that game is so incredible. And I talked about this on the Australian Outback finale. And like with Clarence, I feel like he got that edit as well. And it's kind of unfair for him.
I do remember back in the day, I remember thinking, like me and my mom were watching it, and we're like, oh man, they're doing Clarence dirty. That's a thing, like, of course it's not a good idea to eat more portion than the rest, but it's just kind of how it unfolded and what they shared with us. It allowed us to follow that narrative of him not being trustworthy. And so
it wasn't cool though. But like, here's the thing. I think Clarence was like, they didn't show like how funny he was. Apparently he was the funniest person out there. Like, everyone has confirmed like Clarence is like hilarious, and we didn't get to see as much of that, and I wish we did. But hey, he took a dump in front of elephants, so maybe that was funny. There you go.
If he has kids, you can tell his kids that story, right?
Yeah, who can say that? You know what I mean? That's pretty cool. So you have Kim J talking to Clarence about the potential merge. Kim J trying to teach Frank about what brunch is.
What the heck was that? I wrote that down because I was like, we need to talk about this.
Like, come on. I mean, first of all, I do think Kim J is secretly a gay man in a woman's body. Like, let's get real. She's witty. She's fun. She loves to brunch it up with the gals and gays. Like, obviously, Kim J is fantastic. We love her.
But the thing is, though, brunch, like, it's not a new concept. Like, I don't know what life is without brunch. So it's kind of like, just not know why people are lined up on a Sunday, like at noon down the street at like like every little intersection. Like, you don't ask what's going on here, and just the fact that he's so oblivious to brunch. Oh, it's breakfast and lunch together? What time does that happen? Like, sorry? What do you mean?
I don't get it. Well, Frank is like this military man who I do not like, by the way. Frank is like my least favorite in the cast. I hate him. Truthfully, the man is not someone I would want to be stranded in Africa with. Wouldn't. But like, I'm not surprised he didn't know, because he wakes up at 5 every day and eats at the same time every single day, 3 times a day, and tells his children when to go to. I mean, they're probably adults now. Feel bad for his children. I feel really bad.
Well, they probably rebelled.
Lindsay said they were all girls. His family was all girls. Surprise, right?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, really? You would think it would not be like that, but yeah, he just would order them around. Wake up at 4:30.
He could be a big softie.
Yeah, maybe he's mellowed out a little bit. All right. Well, Lex telling Kelly and Tom they are locked and loaded and in a great position. Brandon saying this is horrible and he wants to get to the merge and have individual competitions, just complaining as he usually does. Lex saying they don't know when the merge is going to happen. Kelly is showing signs that she is starting to get annoyed with Lex. Her quote is, "He is so politicking for a win, and that's fine, but just watching him kiss ass and talk in his dad voice annoys me. I would like to vote off Lex in a perfect world."
In a perfect world. Maybe she's just upset that he didn't make her a spoon.
Yeah, I think she is. I think she's a little bit upset. He made this spoon. I don't know what the spoon was for. Was it like a spoon, like eating spoon?
I'm assuming it was like to have your own personal eating utensil.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Like, as a kid, I thought it wasn't that. I thought it was something else, but never mind.
Else?
I thought it was like to assist with like going to the bathroom. That's originally what I thought it was. Yeah, I swear. Until today, I watched and I was like, oh, it's like an eating spoon. I swear that's what he was doing.
How did you go down that road?
I don't know why I went. Maybe because of like Clarence taking the dump in front of the elephants, and I was thinking like it's just the theme right now, that we're talking about this. It's great.
So I'm not meaning to laugh at your childhood thoughts here. But.
My childhood thoughts were completely off. So I'm happy as an adult that I now know it was eating utensils is what I should have thought 20 years ago. Good school.
Or like maybe a back scratcher I can get.
A back scratcher. Yeah, that's a good one. I like it. All right. So we get to the immunity challenge. And what does Jeff tell them? To drop their buffs. All right. It is merge time. They get these really cool teal buffs. I like the color. And they go right into their immunity challenge, their first individual immunity challenge. And it's the really simple challenge which they have done over and over and over again to this day. It's like one of the most well-known challenges. Yes, stand on a log with your arm raised in the air, attached to a bucket. If you move your arm, the bucket drops. You're covered in water. And the last one standing wins. It's endurance.
Speaking of this challenge, though, I host my own live reality game with a friend of mine, Nick. It's a weekend-long extravaganza. It's Big Brother style. But we do this. Well, we have done it for our season 3. We did a kind of a play on this challenge. So we got those like slap bracelets and we tied string to it. And we put it to like a cup, and the cup had water on the top deck. So on the top of the deck, we measured out everybody's arms, so their arms were like up, and they had to hold it up. And like basically, like if they moved their hand too much, the water would fall on their heads or whatever.
Love it. I want to play this game. When COVID's over, you do it. Let me know.
Yeah, well, I mean, we should. We've missed 2 seasons now, but we have them ready to go.
I'm in. Let me know.
Our season 2 trailer, just so you can see what we do, because I do all the diary room.
Is it in Toronto?
It's in Ontario, just outside Toronto.
Oh, I mean, you're probably like a 3-hour drive from me. I'm in Detroit.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, Detroit, yes, like even closer. We're like west. So
I will literally drive over. Like I would totally do it, no question.
We tend to have a lot of gay men that want to play, so we may have been filled that role, but you are definitely going to be somebody that I will pitch to be like, he needs to play. It's honestly like, it's really, really, it's so fun to produce, so fun to film, and then watch back. Like we watch the seasons together and it's great. So
it'll be a blast.
You're in as far You're
Love,
my
it'll be great. I promise I would give you drama. It'll be good. No, I don't want to spoil my strategy because everyone can watch this. So I'll tell you after what I do. So it's good. Okay.
This episode before the immunity challenge, though, I miss tree mail. I just miss tree mail and the little run that happens, and like they're going to get it to know that they have to go for the merge and like take all your stuff and try to decipher all the little clues in the tree mail. I miss that. Whether they still do it or not, they don't show it anymore. And like I think that I was like, I definitely was like, I need to pay some homage to tree mail because I loved it.
Oh yeah, tree mail is something I miss as well. There's so many things I miss. I miss the torch walks. I miss tree mail. I miss the Survivor intros. Like I miss all these things. I need to go.
Like, you know,
I mean, I prefer a Real Housewife intro. I mean, anybody does, okay? But like, let's get real. Like everything.
They're actually amazing. It's kind of the style that the Big Brother used to do it as well, because it's like everybody had their specific archetype or like job or profession. You know, yeah, it's pretty epic how old school it is.
I miss it. Yeah, and then honestly, the Survivor Africa intro is one of my favorite ones. I love it.
It's good.
That's the one thing about it. It's great. All right, so like little highlights during the challenge, okay? Favorite part, Kelly being like, I love doing this. I'm going to be great at this. I'm going to be fine. And then she drops first.
No.
Kim J drops right after, and Kim J and Kelly are strategizing about the Silas vote. Kelly says she heard Frank hates women. Shock of the century. Brandon, Kim, and Big Tom drop. Frank drops as well. When Frank drops, you have Caddy Brandon being like, yes! Oh, good job, Frank. Good job, Frank.
I'm like, keep it in, buddy. Like, don't show all your cards there. I totally noticed it. I was
like, so shady. You get T-Bird doing a full rendition of Tomorrow, like she is Sarah Jessica Parker and the original Annie on Broadway.
Question.
Yes.
When did T-Bird get the nickname T-Bird? Is that from Rob as a podcast, or did she have it from this season?
They called her T-Bird on the show. Yeah. I
couldn't remember. They haven't started calling her that yet, though, right?
No, they did. I think they called her T-Bird back in when it was like the old Samburu. Yeah, they called her that right from the beginning. She's always been known as T-Bird.
That's really cute.
Yeah, I love it. I love T. She's great. She's a sweetheart. She's so much fun. She's an icon.
She is an icon. And actually, we'll get to that part.
Oh yeah, we will get to that part. Like she kind of slays these rounds too. She's fun. All right. So now Jeff starts bringing out the bacon and the food. Okay. So he brings out a cheeseburger to tempt them. No one takes it. Not even Clarence. Kim is always commenting in the background, Clarence is going to take it. Clarence. No, he doesn't take it, Kim. Sorry. So they give him the cheeseburger to the people that were eliminated. Then Clarence is saying he wants pizza. Jeff brings out pizza. Kim J's quote, if Clarence takes the whole pizza, I'll kill him.
One thing I have heard, though, that maybe it was different back then, but that Survivor pizza actually isn't good. So that's something that I've heard from all, like, you know, any interviews and stuff like that people do. Like, I love pizza. Any pizza is good pizza. But I heard that any pizza except Survivor pizza is good.
Honestly, I'm not that big of a pizza fan in general. I'm not.
Where are you from? Brooklyn?
Michigan. But, like, I do like pizza. Like, don't get me wrong. Everyone likes pizza, but it's not at the top of my list. I'd rather have a burger.
Oh.
I'm like that one person.
Be fret. I'm just kidding.
No, I do love a pizza, and I love a lot of meat on it. Like, obviously, you know, I love to stack on my pizza, but I like other things a little bit more.
Okay, but sometimes I just crave that pizza. But I there are more interesting things to eat. But I feel like it's just like good. It's always just very good.
So. Does Toronto do it the same way we do, where you dip it in ranch, or is that just like a Midwest thing?
The ranch thing is very American.
It's very Midwest.
Yeah. It's very like, do you watch Vanderpump Rules?
Yes.
Very Stassi, right? Very just Stassi Schroeder.
Yes. You know, like a majority of Vanderpump were from Michigan.
Lies.
They're like all from Michigan, like most of the cast.
And you watched the challenge as well, right?
Of course.
Have you bumped into Jenna and Zach? I want to know the tea.
If I do, I'll let you know. I haven't yet, but hey. So funny.
I didn't know that though about Vanderpump Rules, Michigan.
Yeah, like Jax is from Michigan. I'm pretty sure Stasia is. I'm pretty sure.
I thought she's
I know a
from
lot.
North Carolina. No, I don't know. Never mind. New Orleans.
A few of them are like 3 or 4 of them are all from there, but I think the west side of Michigan's like Grand Rapids area. But yeah. All right, so Lex ends up dropping after the food, so he misses out on the food. That which kind of sucks. You know, we have Ethan, Clarence, and T-Bird left. So Ethan drops, and it comes down to Clarence and T-Bird, and they're trying to fight for who's gonna win this. And Clarence is trying to make deals with T-Bird. He's like, I need this tea, which you kind of did need it, and I don't really think she needed it. But she wanted to win. Good for her. And she's like, you're going to win more immunities. You're going to win more immunities. And he starts signaling to the eliminated players, like, will you guys protect T-Bird? And then Kelly and Kim are like, hi. Hi, everyone.
Why is he like talking to us or looking at us?
We don't care. So he's like, well, I don't have the support there. So it comes down to rock, paper, scissors. Teresa wins. Clarence is out and gets some chicken. Teresa gets immunity. What are your thoughts on T-Bird?
6 hours. Is that the first of the longest immunities?
I think Palau is the longest.
Which one's Palau?
Palau is Tom Westman.
Oh, but that's later. So
yeah.
She's like the original holder.
No, I think Australia went 10 hours with Tina and Keith.
Oh, I don't remember. I didn't do the rewatch yet.
Oh, yeah. I know, yeah. We went like 10 hours. Tina and Keith stood there like it got to nighttime. They literally went right from there to tribal council. Like it was so late. Yeah. It went late. But yeah, I mean, thoughts on it. I think T-Bird is a beast, and like we didn't notice that she had that endurance in her, but honestly, I'm not surprised. She is a mother.
Yeah, and she's thin, she's lean. That type of pain hurts, but if you have a skinny arm, once you get past that first round of pain, I think it's like you can do it for forever. Like your arm will go numb. Yes, it will hurt so much you probably can't move it, but you could probably stay longer than a person with big muscles. So
agreed.
I thought it was going to be a leaner, skinnier person was going to be winning that challenge, and I was happy that it was T-Bird. I was thinking in my head, even originally, I was like, isn't Clarence not safe? Like, why would he make that deal? Like, I thought that he would have a better clue as to, where his position was in the tribe.
Yeah, I don't know how he became a target. It kind of just happens. It's like part of the Lex witch hunt is what I call it. I think Clarence is like Lex's first victim at Merge. It's like, I want this happening, which we'll get to.
He should never have felt safe.
I know. He shouldn't have. And I think Clarence should have hung in there because he's a beast. He's like bigger than everybody out there. He is a beast in challenges. He's like ripped, solid muscle. The guy should know he's a threat. I mean, but they didn't know what they were doing out there. Lindsay told me this. Most of them hadn't even watched the show.
Oh.
She said she watched Survivor Borneo 5 minutes, like a couple days before going out.
Stop. I mean, she did a good job then.
She did. They had no idea what was going on. I don't think people really started watching the show and going on until like Marquesas. Yeah, next season.
Well, yeah, that's when the real gameplay started happening. Because I remember I was obsessed with Rob from that first experience. It's like, oh my God, he got done dirty. No.
I know, and that's when you get your first big blind side on the Road to 4 Alliance, which is iconic. It's a good season. It's underrated. Jeff Probst doesn't like it. He can kiss my ass for that because it's a good season.
I do know that he doesn't like. Well, you'll talk about it next.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when we get to Marquesas. We're gonna have you on for Marquesas. We'll talk about it.
Yes, I want to hear.
All right. So Motomaji is the name of the tribe. They create it together. It's based off of, I guess, like fire and water and Swahili. They do that. They open the basket, get their cheese, food, and wine. They start sitting together and chatting and. Frank is going off and picking up wood. He's not even joining in because that's how Frank is. And Kelly's like, Frank is a big loner. Socially seems inept. I guess a lot of the population is introverted, antisocial, but I feel like a lot of them are on prescription drugs and counteract that, and maybe he should be on them.
Maybe. I mean, he definitely, it was weird how he was just wanting to be so antisocial. Like, it's a perfect opportunity, even if it's outside your comfort zone. You have some wine being passed around. You have everybody's like defenses down and guards down, and everybody's just having a good time. There's no game going on for half an hour, just like, you know, have a breather with these people. But he just couldn't. He had to go fetch some firewood.
Ugh, Frank.
I know, which I was happy about.
I would want to vote him off first, truthfully, but hey, he makes it, so I don't know how. But with that, they start playing some drinking games. They're having a little fun. Some of them are probably getting drunk. They play Never Have I Ever. Highlights of that game. You say that Big Tom. You find out that Big Tom was turned on by Mama Kim in a thong. Teresa had sex on an airplane, and then it comes to Frank, and he's like, "Never have I ever broken in honor of a handshake." What kind of fun sucking is that? Like, he just sucks the fun out of everything. He is Frank the vacuum cleaner. There's all the fun gone.
Yeah, I mean, make up something at this point. Like, even if it's like, never have I ever winked at my wife, or I don't know, like something else would have been better than that one.
Never have ever had like sex with my wife or something. Cool. Like, that's you gotta do. Okay, you're an adult. Even Teresa is, you know, talking about how she had did the Mile High Club. Come on, Frank.
Yeah, I want to hear more about that. You could probably get to talk to her like through.
I probably should. I should message her about that. I don't know. She does her podcast though, so I don't know. So
Maybe.
We'll see.
Like I was a flight attendant before COVID happened too, and I'm just thinking about like those. It's really small, those bathrooms, and they're kind of gross. Was it a private plane?
I don't know. She doesn't go into specifics. She just said she's had sex on an airplane.
So hopefully it's like a private jet.
Maybe it was a private jet and her husband or something. I don't know.
Doing not like commercial airline. Maybe it was more of like a private
excursion. Yeah, exactly. You know.
I want to hear more about that story.
I want to hear more about it too. Then you have Frank talking to the elephants, like he's Snow White or something. Going, you know, doing his little thing with them. Cool, Frank. Great. Not talking to humans, but talking to the animals. That's how a lot of people want people to be anyway. So props to you. There we go. Now we have Lex thinking about the game and how to progress next. Strategizing is starting. Whispering is happening all over. Lex telling Tom he's going to tell the target straight to their face. The one person that's getting voted off doesn't know about it. So we don't know who it's going to be. Is it going to be Frank?
No.
Is it going to be Brandon?
No.
It's Clarence. Wah, wah. So he takes Clarence aside.
Bad for him. Like, I was starting to feel bad for Clarence, especially when I believe Lex and Big Tom were talking, and then Clarence just kind of like walked up, and then like they just dispersed and just kind of like, okay. Like, I didn't feel good about him being kind of ostracized and then voted out, you know?
I wish they would have voted out Frank. And I'll tell you why. Because I think if they would have voted out Frank, Brandon wouldn't have switched to Lex's side. Because the reason why Brandon switches is because he doesn't like Frank and doesn't want to work with Frank. So I think they could have gotten Clarence for that group, and it would have been Kelly, Clarence, T-Bird, Kim, and Brandon. And that game would have been different.
Oh, that would have been very interesting.
Potentially.
I mean, I like the winner, though, so.
I know. I like the winner, too. We all like the winner. He is easy on the eyes. He's a beautiful man. And he's just perfect all around. It's because he's a Jew. He's my people.
You know what, though? All my best friends in my life have been Jewish. You know, I sang to you the prayer, like, Baruch atah Adonai. Like, I can sing the whole thing if you want. 4 buckets is a birthday party, so.
Oh, you're in Toronto. Like, Judaism's, like, the number one religion in Toronto. Like, on Big Brother Canada, they celebrated Passover on it one season. Wouldn't, like, Rochelle do it or something? Like, I was
from the tears of
I know like there's a big Jewish population in Canada, like all over. So hey, that's cool. Love it.
That's the one religion that I would probably change to, because everybody always just adopts me as like the Jewish mom adopts me as like their favorite black friend.
Did you ever go to bat mitzvahs or bar mitzvahs?
No, I went to like a gazillion. I have some good bat mitzvah stories, actually.
We'll have to chat about that sometime. That would be a fun one.
I also worked at like my first bar restaurant, actually where I originally saw Survivor. We used to have a huge Jewish population that would come to this bar, like always, like Thursday nights for sure was always like more so Jewish night. And just like most of the people that came in there were Jewish. And so they all had their birthday parties or their bat mitzvahs or even like small weddings like at this restaurant. So even on top of me being invited to more bat mitzvahs and birthday parties, like I actually worked at places that were predominantly
I would have been friends with you in a second growing up. You're my people. Like any day of the week, you are so much fun. Any day. I love it. All right, so so they tell Clarence he's the target. Clarence is like, thanks for telling me. Kelly gives a little comment. You can just lie to him all day when it's not convenient and tell him the truth. And then the last possible minute, just slip the truth. That's going to make you an ethical person. Right. Okay. Because Lex is trying to be like this, like ethical, let's take you aside until you're getting voted off. And that's what Lex does because he has a big heart. Lex is a good guy. I do think at the end of the day, Lex is a good guy. And I've said this every episode. He comes off as a villain because he's paranoid as hell. But as a person, he really cares about these people. And I genuinely believe he cared about Clarence and wanted to get him off because he's the challenge beast. That's the reason. So
interesting though, because it's early gameplay is that now it's like, don't tell the person leaving that they're leaving because they might, try to change things up and switch the vote. So that's something that wouldn't be going down, like letting them know that they're about to be slaughtered. That's not a game move nowadays.
Very true. And then before the tribal council, you have T-Bird saying she gave Clarence her word. She is not going to vote him out. So she says she's not going to do it. We get to tribal council, and there are 8 votes for Clarence and 2 votes for Lex, and one of which is T-Bird, but nobody knows. It's the secret. And that second is what changes the rest of the season. So Lex has a vote against him. He is now in Salem. He is calling witches out. Let's get into the Salem Witch Trials episode, or the Lex Witch Trials.
Episode 9.
Episode 9. Well, personally, what's your thought of being Clarence getting voted off? I think it was unfair. I'm kind of sad he was voted out.
I was sad that he was voted out. We didn't obviously get to see a lot of him trying to stay. I would have liked to see him not just kind of give in. I think it would have been possible for him to get the numbers, especially if you look and see how Frank is disliked about a few people. And I think that there was a possibility of him being able to team up with, some of the people that are also on the outs, and he could have maybe saved himself. I guess he wasn't really that strategic. Or they didn't show him to be that strategic. And I think that he felt he's like, he told me that I'm done, so I'm done. And it seemed as though he just laid down. So I would have liked to see him fight more. I would have liked to see them take out somebody else other than him. It just wasn't that interesting. It's pretty predictable. But I mean, I didn't live with him, and so I don't know how he might have rubbed people the wrong way or whatnot to make it easy for them to get behind that vote. But I wish it went differently for sure.
He'd like to eat. Give him his food. Let him eat, and maybe that's it. He liked the beans. He liked the cherries, the chicken. Didn't like the eggs, but Clarence liked food. We know this. He'd like to eat.
He's also like a big guy.
Yes, he's huge.
Probably a lot of calories to keep him fueled, and so.
Oh yeah.
That's also, getting the same spoonful of cornmeal is not going to satiate him as much as it would be somebody that's half his size. So
exactly,
that's that as well.
Amazing. All right, episode 9, aka the Lex Witch Trials. I hope I'm not going to be accusing people of worshiping the devil because this is what that's what this episode is about. People worship the devil and facing the trials. Okay.
Is on, and they don't. And he doesn't even know that he's hunting for T-Bird. He's
Oh,
talking to T-Bird, and like he's like letting it out, like he's just so hurt, he's upset, and like he
he's
really
pissed.
couldn't handle having 2 boats, even though he didn't have 8, is what T-Bird kind of was saying in her confessionals. But like it was just for me, T-Bird just did the right thing. Keep her damn mouth shut. She just better keep that secret till he watches the season. That is something that she is never going to say.
Yep, and she played it right, and you can't get mad at her for it. I love Kelly's line. I'm sorry someone voted against you, Mr. Ego. Deal with it. It wasn't me, but screw you, Lex, if you're going to yell at me like you're my dad, saying I took the cookie from the cookie jar when I didn't do it. And T-Bird's like, it was me. But you know what? She's keeping her mouth shut, and we respect that. And that was a good move on T-Bird's end. No question, she did it right. So going on to the reward challenge, it's a fun one. They have 9 items, and the goal is to get all the items into the basket using a plank as a springboard, and by jumping on the plank, it will launch it into the basket. This is one they repeat in All Stars as well. It's a fun challenge, but was it not rigged for Ethan? Like, come on, for the hacky sack soccer player? I wonder who's going to win this challenge. It's kind of obvious. Ethan slays the competition. What are your thoughts on this one? Did you think it was a fun challenge?
I mean, yeah, they're always fun, and that's one thing I also like about looking at these older season is that the competitions are, I know that it was kind of geared for Ethan, but like anybody still could have won. It wasn't like super difficult for, someone that's super small or someone that's super big. Like anybody could have figured out the exact pressure point to jump on and do well. So I like that about the older challenges. And so this one kind of fell along with that. And I wanted him to win. I remember back in the day, I was like, I want Ethan to win. I wanted to be happy. Like, I just wanted him to be happy and have some rewards. And like, I wanted to see what they're going to do with these 2 goats.
Ethan is so lovable, though. You gotta give him love. You just gotta love him. He's just a nice guy. He's like the guy you marry. You know what I mean? Like that. He definitely is like the marrying type of guy. That's like the vibe that everyone got from him when he, got farther into the game. No, I'm not going to spoil, but you know what happens. But Ethan ends up winning. They have a reward where they give Ethan, and he chooses Lex. They give them 2 goats, and they get to go to an African village and barter the goats for money and use that money to buy whatever they want with it. So I wonder what they're going to do. But yeah, he takes Lex because Lex was second in the challenge. They take a bumpy ride to the village, and this is such a cool reward. Like, this is a reward that I would want to do. Like, this is like kind of like a life dream, is to like, I've always wanted to go to Africa and like do this kind of stuff because this is so cool. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity where they get to go to an African village. They order like on the menu, one of the things on the menu did not look so good. They get these fries, and the fries look like it's soup. Does it not look like?
No, that's so gross.
It looks literally like just like oil soup. It's what it looks like, and I'm like, I don't know what to get out there. Like maybe they get like a beer or something. I'm like, I'm gonna probably have stomach issues for like 2 weeks from this.
I don't know, like if it would be the same, but I was in like 2010, I think it was. I was filming a commercial in Morocco, and one thing that we were doing though is like we were traveling from one resort to like the next resort, and so we were on the back of these kind of like. It's a truck, but it's like a truck that fits like 15 people. One of those kind of, I don't know how to explain them, but it's just a big truck. And so we'd stop at the side of the road and where you would actually like point to the piece of meat that you want. And they would like, okay, that's what you want. And they'd cut the meat. They'd make
like shawarma, I think. Morocco's kind of, it's in the north of Africa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was like a shawarma type thing.
There was no bread. It was like they made it with like onions and and tomatoes, and like it was delicious.
That sounds so good.
When he was saying that, like, oh, I went to questionable meat because the cats were running around, I was like, you know what? The meat's actually probably very good if you're getting, say, like beef or something specific. I don't think that they would. I think you'd be told that they were giving you cat. That's what I'm thinking. I don't eat meat now, so I probably wouldn't appreciate it. But like back then, like I definitely ate meat, and I probably would have had meat, like beef, there.
Oh, are you like vegan or vegetarian?
I say veganish because sometimes I'll eat
Veganish.
fish.
Okay. Okay, so like pescatarian vegan.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah,
Generally,
whatever.
sometimes I like a piece of pizza, and I'm not going to be out of like no cheese and like I hate
Okay.
cheese.
I've heard being vegan is very healthy. I've heard a lot of people do, and I've heard it's really good. You just have to cook a lot. You
You do
gotta
have
cook.
to cook a lot. I just like I don't have like animal dairy products really at home. It's only when I'm like doing any fast foody things where I have to make kind of like choices. But yeah, veganish, sometimes fish.
Okay. Veganish, I like it. Do you eat sushi?
I do.
Okay, then we're good. As long as you eat sushi, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
So if I came to visit, we just get sushi the whole time because that's
I
what I
used
can
to before lockdown. So I was a flight attendant, actress, obviously, and then I worked at a fine dining sushi restaurant. So
Oh, it sounds so good. I love sushi. It's my favorite.
best. Oh my god, sushi! Like we could order anything off the menu. It was delicious. So yes.
I love it. I could eat sushi like that's if it's like one thing I could eat for the rest of my life, that's what I would eat. No question. No question at all. And the really cool part about this, okay, so they buy like souvenirs and cookies and whatnot, but the cool part is Ethan like playing hacky sack with like the village kids. So cool. Like I love this moment. It's so like 2000s, like with the hacky sack. You know what I mean? Like
I was like, oh my god, that's like my high school. Like
I know.
sack with like, I don't know if you know who Scott Speedman is, but so he went to my high school, or whatever. And I remember he used to play like hacky sack, and like he had like his guitar, and or no, did he have a guitar? He had long hair. Anyways, there was days of the hacky sack with bell-bottom jeans and like hanging out at the park. And I went to an art school, so we're all like singing,
I love that.
I played hacky sack. Like, sorry.
We all did. We all did. I played it at summer camp.
Speaking of summer camp, you'll love this. I nearly went to B'nai B'rith.
Stop.
B'nai B'rith when I was 12 and 13. I ended up going to gymnastic camp instead, but that's how in it I was.
You almost went to like Jewish summer camp. I love it. No, the funny thing is, and this is one thing about Jews, and I think 90% of Jews will tell you this, every Jewish kid has gone to a summer camp. So like if you meet someone that is Jewish, the first question you should ask them is, what summer camp did you go to?
And I'm always like Northland. I used to know all the people from Northland.
Oh yeah, I went to Tamarack. Okay, that was fun. I was really bullied for being gay though. They were horrible. Oh my god, kids were horrible then, but it's okay. It's cool. They all apologize later in life. It is
like now you're cooler than them, and then
yeah. I mean, I'm talking to Chantel, and they're not. Sorry about it. Okay. All right. So back at Motomaji, because Lex is gone, the Samburus decide to finally come together and work together to see what they can do. T-Bird, if we're going to make a move, this is the tribal council to do it. This is our only chance. The four of them know this is their time, and they know they need to get Kelly. So Kim is trying to get Kelly to vote with the Samburus, and Kelly tells them at this time no, but good luck with your little coup, and we'll see what happens.
But it's kind of like they're doing it for Lex. Like Kelly hates Lex. Like it was the perfect person to target, get her to flip.
Exactly. It should have worked, but who knows? Maybe it will change in about couple minutes. But honestly, that was their move. If they were going to pull someone in, it had to be Kelly, because Kelly is the one that Lex is starting to think maybe he voted for her. She's kind of on the outs of the five, because you have the three guys and Mama Kim, who's stuck with Ethan. I think Mama Kim's loyalties to Ethan, and Kelly's just kind of there as their fifth, which is not fair, because I do love Kelly and I love her one-liners and zings. It's incredible. I love Kelly. And now she
knows this season for sure.
Yeah, now she's like this professor, and she's exactly still the same. I love it. She's still witty, and like now she gets to fail kids. It's great. It's amazing. We get to our immunity challenge, which is a physical memory challenge. They have to memorize the items that are in the box in order in 9 spots. Jeff shows it to them for 30 seconds, and then they have to replicate it as he calls out what number item. It comes down to Brandon, Lex, Tom, and Ethan. So they eliminate everyone else as they couldn't get the items, and then they do a tiebreaker, and Ethan wins with 8 out of 9 correct items. That's impressive.
It's impressive. if I were ever to go on one of these shows, I would be practicing like different ways to memorize so many different things, because that's pretty challenging. Like, you're starving, it's hot, people are probably smelly, like you probably can't get a good look, like trying to figure like, oh, okay, what's the best way to memorize this? Like, what are they going to ask us about this? Like, they probably weren't sure what the information that they needed to know. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a good competition. I think it's a nice classic. Like, go back to some of those. You don't need to have all these fancy bells and whistles. I don't need no fire tokens. Like, it's okay. Just give me a memory challenge on Survivor.
Amen. I love a good memory challenge.
You love when they used to run into the woods and find like different,
yes.
Right?
That was like the night challenge that they did in Bordia. Like, they used to do those night challenges and with the trivia. Those were fun. I liked those. They need to bring those back.
Yes.
They need to bring fun challenges back, because now every challenge looks the exact same, and it's something physical and then a puzzle. Something physical and then a puzzle. It's every challenge is like that. It's boring. I want more challenges.
At least I like puzzles. That's the only good thing.
Yeah. And it comes down to the puzzle last minute, every challenge. Like, the viewers don't even care about the challenges anymore, because the challenges are so repetitive. It's all about the strategy now in Survivor.
I mean, I prefer that, because Survivor to me is usually a numbers game, which is less interesting to me. I kind of like the structure of Big Brother better, that like you just have a more opportunity to change your fate in the game. Kind of on Survivor, if you're the target, you're most likely going to be out unless you win immunity, or you can flip half the numbers. So, you know, that's one thing I like about Survivor, is the fact that, I mean, what I prefer about Big Brother is the fact that you can change your fate, but you can't really do that much in Survivor. And so
I agree.
It's not the strategy.
If you're the target, you're going. That's what's happening.
Right? You strategize that much.
Yeah, that's why they bring idols into it, the hidden immunity idols.
It forces people to strategize.
Yeah. And if production likes you, they'll help you get an idol.
And you're like, hey, you want to go on a walk over there?
Over to this area under that bridge?
Sorry,
you know?
what are you looking?
So funny. All right, so we get back to Motomaji, and Lex is saying the last 3 days have been interesting. And he has put 2 and 2 together, and he thinks Kelly is the one that blindsided him. And Brandon is now Lex's pet. So Brandon apparently tells Lex that Kelly said she's a free agent. So Brandon being shady, throwing Kelly under the bus for no reason. Lex is now on the witch hunt for Kelly. He wants Brandon to take Kelly's spot and make her the 5th Boran member of his alliance. And you get Tom Buchanan saying, I will feel like hell if we kicked one of our team members off by Lex's gut feeling. But Lex is gung-ho now and getting Kelly out. Gung-ho. So we get Kelly and Lex talking. Kelly has no clue what's going on. He tells Kelly he thinks she's the rat, and she's like, my butt's on the line. I feel like I'm now, and my real strategy, my best strategy is to team up with the 4 Samburu. She goes to the 4 Samburu. I'm with you guys. It's on. It's going into Tribal Council. You have the 4 Samburu and Kelly. They're going to take out Lex. They're going to turn it on him. And then you get Brandon's confessional saying he's basically up in the air. So going into Tribal Council, what did you think was going to happen? What were your thoughts?
I was really hoping for Kelly to be siding with them, and they got the numbers now, and that Brandon was going to stick with his people that would stick by him. And I was really disappointed in the fact that Brandon chose the others.
Brandon decides to vote out Kelly in a blindside, and I think it's one of the dumbest moves in Survivor history, and I don't understand why he did it. I don't get why he did it. He could have potentially won the game, I think, if he would have done it right, because I think Kelly would have eventually, if it was the 5 of them, Kelly would have teamed up with Kim and Brandon over Frank and T-Bird, no question. And we would have had a final 3. And I think Brandon could have won. You never know. He ruined his game for Lex, because I think it's maybe
the bottom of a set of 5, when at least he could be maybe top 3 in a set of 5, you know? Yeah, I thought it was. I think he enjoyed having the power of being the split vote.
Yeah.
I think that he wanted to be like, I'm choosing to do what I want. I don't want my alliance to be telling me what to do. I've already been under Silas's rule and Lindsay's rule for these past. Like, I think he just really wanted to do something himself, and I don't think he was thinking through strategically setting himself up because the game
that was a good move. And it wasn't a good move. It was really bad.
Really bad. It maybe, well, it continued making me dislike him. I already stopped liking him at the merge, and now I was like, Kelly having the best confessionals and valid reasons to not be vibing with Lex, and then you just give Lex the advantage here.
Awful.
I don't know. It's not the move for me.
But Kelly goes out with a freaking amazing vote. Like, let me quote her on this. When it's me, you'll know it. I couldn't be more excited when casting this vote. I never wanted you to win, and now I hope you won't. If this is the last vote I cast, then at least I get to vote for you, who I always found to be not fun around.
It was so good. I listened to it 2 or 3 times. I was like, let me hear that again.
Amazing. So I had Jolene on for the Africa premiere. Her Kelly Goldsmith impression is dead on. It's perfect. It's like,
yeah, I'm gonna listen.
It's amazing. Watch the first episode, like, of Africa, like our podcast. Yeah. Watch Jolene. It's so funny. It's great.
I heard it the other day too, which was awesome.
Yeah, I love Jolene. She's awesome. I get all my friends. You and Jolene are like my faves. I love. All right. So with that concludes us talking about the episodes. But now we're going to get to our tops, bottoms, and hot mess expresses for the round. So I'm going to go ahead and go first for top player. My top player is T-Bird. I'm so impressed with her. She got away with murder. She's well-liked by everyone on the tribe. She's playing a great game. She's really, going a little bit under the radar, but really knows everything that's going on for the most part. So got to give it up for T-Bird.
I mean, I would probably pick T-Bird as well, but we'll just throw somebody else into the mix there. We may not be liking it, but Lex is doing a pretty good job. But regardless of the fact that, he got out some of that we would rather stay in the game, he was able to get the numbers. He was able to get people on his side in order for him to vote out the person that was coming for him the most, or that he disliked the most, or that he had the most friction with. So game-wise, I think that he set himself up better. Now Brandon is going to be like, I need to do what Lex does because I don't have the security blanket of my people anymore. And so I think that was a smart move on Lex's part, is to like kind of just bring Brandon in. And so now I think he has a lot more power. And if I'm not mistaken, I won't spoil it, but I think it sets him up for later on in this game. And didn't love him at the time or even in the rewatch, but I think that he's doing a pretty decent job with maneuvering the other castaways.
That's a good choice. I think Lex is a good one for top right now because he really is controlling the votes. He's controlled both of them so far. So definitely Lex and T-Bird. All right, bottom player. Do you want to go for bottom first?
You go bottom first.
I think we're going to choose the same person. I'm choosing Brandon. It's obvious. He's playing a horrible game. Brandon for making one of the dumbest decisions in Survivor history, for being catty against Lindsay and Kim, who are his allies. These two people have been your allies from day one. Kim has been your best gal pal since literally talking about the tampons of Samburu on day one. And you turn on her. Why? No reason. So Brandon, bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, I totally can get behind Brandon, 100%. I definitely didn't like his disloyalty to his people. I just didn't sit well with me. But just to change it up, I think I'm going to throw Frank in there. If I play any of these games, social is usually one of my strengths. And so to see someone that's completely not social and doesn't seem to be strategic either, I'm kind of like, are you just there because you're an interesting character? Like, how are you advancing your game? How are you advancing the story of the whole season? He's not really. He's interesting, but like, if I were to be playing with him, I wouldn't want to be because he wouldn't be strategizing with me. He's not able to connect with me on any sort of level. He's not doing any. He's not winning a bunch of competitions. So he's just kind of an interesting decoration that is not really helping my game or my enjoyment of the show. So yeah, he's a bottom for me.
I agree on Frank as well. Brandon and Frank.
Of course you do.
Of course, I hate Frank. I hate both of them. Truthfully, I don't like either. Okay, next we're gonna do Hot Mess Express. I'm actually gonna say Lex for this. I'm going to. I think he's been a hot mess. He's running around like a chicken with its head cut off, like trying to accuse people of voting him. Who cares? You got one vote. It's not like you got 4 votes, you got 1. Who cares? Move on. Keep it going. Instead, you have to go on a witch hunt and accuse the wrong person, basically hang the wrong witch. Okay? Like, it's literally the Crucible taking place on Survival right now. And I just think Lex is the bad one here. He's the hot mess. Who's yours?
Just gonna, step outside the box here.
I love this. I love that.
Pick is going to be Kelly. Now, it's not that she is a messy player, but she didn't realize that she was making messes. She didn't realize that she needed to be a little more careful with her relationship with Black. She didn't realize that he had that much social capital. I think that she just assumed that people were going to feel about him the same that way that she did, and kind of allowed him to be able to get an upper hand on her. So I would say just hot mess, because there was a mess going on about her that she didn't clean up and make him at least believe her or know that she wasn't the one that voted for him or whatnot. She allowed him to believe that she was messier of a player than she actually was. So I'm gonna give her that one. And also, in a very good way, her confessionals are quite messy.
I love how messy she is, though. She's so witty, but it's fun. So I wish we got more Kelly Goldsmith. That's a sad one for me. I'm kind of sad she went out a little too early, I think. Maybe a couple episodes would have been fun, but oh well, All right.
In the sliding doors of this vote, I would have loved to see how well she could have done without having, her nemesis there.
Oh, I agree. All right, next we're going to play our game today, which is the Lex Witch Trials. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so what I'm going to do, Chantel, is I am going to list a castaway. It may be someone from Survivor Africa, might be someone who was on Survivor All-Stars, okay? But would this person be accused of voting Lex?
Okay.
Let's go on a witch hunt for this person, okay? So the first person is Big Tom.
I don't think so. I think that he feels like Big Tom is so trustworthy. He comes across as loyal. He's so grounded and real. I don't think that he would go on a witch hunt for Big Tom.
Perfect. All right, next person, Boston Rob.
Well, after All Stars, Boston Rob would be burned at the stake. He wouldn't even go on the hunt. He wouldn't even ask any questions. Rope him up and set him aflame.
Amazing. Next person's Lindsay.
Lindsay. Did they ever even get to interact?
They did, and they are now really good friends in real life.
Cool.
Lindsay's really close. Lex actually, I think either officiated her wedding or performed something at her wedding when she got married. They're very good friends. So that gives the answer.
No, but if beforehand, maybe, because there's a little bit of an age difference. Lindsay seemed to be someone that's very straight in her ways, and what she wants to do, she wants to happen kind of her way. And so I can see her maybe concocting a plan to get him out, because he's so alpha and she wants to kind of have the control, I think. And so I can see him back in the day maybe accusing her or having her on trial.
All right. I agree with you on that. I can agree. All right. Next, Jenna Lewis from Survivor Borneo.
Huh. Now, Jenna's pretty honest, but she can flip. So I think that he would put her on trial just to rattle her cage. If he didn't trust her about something, he would do it to rattle her.
She worked with Boston Rob. He doesn't like Boston Rob, so.
I think that he would put her on trial.
All right. Next, last one, Richard Hatch.
I think he'd be on trial for sure, because Richard Hatch, we talked about him, but he kind of set the stage for a little bit of the deceitful element in in Survivor. You know, like alliances didn't exist before him. Like the real big strategy was developed by him. And so I can see him not trusting Richard and putting him on trial just to find the truth.
Very good. Last one. This is a good one. Jesse Camacho's chapped lips.
Wait, what?
Jesse Camacho, she has chapped lips. Every time you see her in her 2 episodes, her lips just get more and more and more chapped. Like to the point where she's leaving, it's like 2 breadcrumbs.
God, poor thing.
Girl, I put those on trial any day of the week, okay?
Get this phone from chapstick.
Amazing. Well, with that concludes our episode today. Sean, tell everyone where they can find you.
Well, on YouTube, you can find me at Reality Realness with 3 S's over here. And obviously, all my other stuff is down here as well. But yes, find me on YouTube. Join me. I do a lot of different recaps for different reality television shows. And I might start bringing in a little bit of a gossip element because there's a lot of reality TV gossip happening right now. So maybe I need to be like a little bit of a gossip junket.
Bring me in. I'll help you with that. Okay.
Maybe we could do like a little segment.
I would totally do it.
Reality Gossip Wednesdays or something.
I would do it in a second. No question.
Okay, you heard it here first. So yes, find me on Reality Realness with 3 S's.
There you go. All right, guys, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mendels8. As for the Couch Potato Queens, you can follow us on Twitter at Couch Potato Queens, Couch Potato QWNZ. You have to like when you see this. You better like it, okay? Subscribe, comment. We love you guys. We want to hear from you. We have Bachelor podcasts coming up with Alex. We have our RuPaul's Drag Race every Friday night. Like, subscribe. We love you. And I just want to say, don't forget to outwit, outlast, and outgay Henny. Have a good day, everyone.